No. Okay. Ready? Here we go. Well, welcome back to the Best of Investing. I'm Edward Brown, your host. I'm in the studio with Mark Hanf and Brian Burke and a couple of lovely ladies who are teaching us about real estate. And when we get to the first commercial break, we asked this first trivia question. And the trivia theme is famous marks. Okay, this well-known mark used to be known as Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch before turning to acting. Who is this singer turned actor? And Myriam, I understand you know the answer.
Mark Wahlberg.
Mark Wahlberg. Now, how did you know that?
Marky Mark, I've known him from New York, and Entourage is based on him and his right-hand man, E.
Okay, so in other words, you cheated. You happen to know him personally.
Yeah,
oh,
I
okay.
know
Well, that's
he's a very nice guy. He's a really
I sometimes
great
get
guy.
mistaken for Marky Mark.
Yeah.
I could see that actually.
Okay, pull up your shirt. Okay. Okay, Brian, you're going to ask an excellent question.
Yeah, usually when you hear people talking about hiring a real estate agent to sell their property, they're talking in the singular sense and hiring one real estate agent. I understand that you guys work together as a team, so I'm curious, what's the benefit of hiring a team to help me sell my property versus hiring an individual agent, and does that cost double?
Well, you might do everything just perfectly well, but most of us are better in some things than others. And with having somebody else next to you that kind of fills in the gaps, that's one thing that's great about it. But it's just time-wise, too. I mean, you can't be everywhere at the same time. I was a single agent for a very long time before Myriam joined me a couple of years ago. And the quality of what I give to my clients is exponentially higher and better. And the availability is just gigantic.
People tend to underestimate how much work goes into selling a house
Really?
nowadays, so there's
Really?
a lot of time involved in there.
There's a lot of things that comes into play. I mean, you can't be a great designer and be a great analysis and be a great negotiator and have the vision and do the photography. You can't have, not one person has all these skills.
Oh, I was pretty good at it, though.
She was very good at it, but it's even better now.
Yes,
So
that's
And
right.
so Cathy and I are totally the yin and the yang, and we debate all the time on price and this.
What do you mean? Do we really debate? I don't know about that.
Yeah, see, I want
Yeah,
somebody
we
fighting
debate.
over how to sell my house. That actually sounds pretty good.
And we can come up with all sorts of different strategy and really see a whole different new picture.
It's kind of hard
really
to
works
brainstorm
really
by
well.
yourself, I guess.
Our clients
Yeah,
have
that's
been
true.
very happy.
So, Brian, you say, Brian, what would I like to do? Okay,
Yeah,
Brian,
I think
what
I'll
would
do
I like to
this.
do?
Yeah, that sounds like a
Yeah.
really good idea, yeah.
Okay.
So
Mark?
isn't it more common now for agents to work in teams? Because I noticed even in the ads, like in the Sunday papers, it's team so and so.
And there is, and that's partially why. From my standpoint, I can focus on things a little bit better by having somebody with me, so I know that my business is going to be better. Your business can be bigger, more clients, and a better quality with have somebody else there. So there are other teams out there. I can't say that all of them are the same quality, but you go and you interview a team and then go and interview a single person, and you see for yourself where you feel like you'd be better served. And I think for most people, they'll like the idea that they got another person with their back at the same time.
Absolutely. So in terms of demographics, like how important is it to work with a team that is local? Say, so you guys specialize in Marin County. If I lived in Marin County, how important it is for me to use
Well, not just
someone?
Marin. I mean, specifically either that neighborhood, right?
Right,
Yeah.
definitely.
As opposed to
And-
my friend or my sister who's an agent maybe over in the East Bay, or some family member that might want to sell my house, but
Oh, I literally had
That's-
a relative on my wife's side of the family want to sell our house, and she lives in Virginia. I'm very
That's
serious.
hysterical.
I'm
That's
sure you
save on
guys
the
never
commission.
hear that, right?
That's
You
probably
never
the-
hear
She was
that.
going to charge me double, too. I said, no, that doesn't sound good.
That's probably one of the biggest mistakes someone can do is hire their friend or family member because they feel like it's important to them. But that's almost a disadvantage for selling your home. Even by neighborhood in Mill Valley per se, there's so many different neighborhoods, and Thames Valley versus downtown Mill Valley is completely different marketing. The stats are completely different, and there's a whole different way of marketing it. And you're within the same town.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense, actually.
All right.
I mean, you can represent a lot of people in a lot of parts of Marin, and we've done all of Marin. Our specialty is really more southern Marin because we know it better. You always sell something better that you know and you love. if you've got somebody coming from San Jose to try to sell a home in the middle of Mill Valley, they don't know where the schools are, they don't know the culture.
You know, instead the lender will just hire an appraiser from San Jose.
Yeah, exactly.
Or Reno.
Zillow, baby, Zillow.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, I got a hard question for you. All right, what about hiring an agent on an hourly basis and doing a FSBO, which stands for sale by owner, and cut you guys right out of it?
Well,
Hard
then
question.
what you'll do is you'll try for a while and then you'll call me, because I've certainly had that happen before. One guy that I can think of tried that 3 times in a row, and then 3 times in a row, and then he finally called me, and then we put this house on the market and we had it sold within a month. So, you know, he said, well, that was stupid of me to do. Why is it stupid? Well, you know how this world is right now. There's a new disclosure every time you turn around. There's been a lawsuit, somebody gets sued for something, there's a new form. Do you know that as a seller of your home on your own? Do you know what forms are required? Will you be sued later on because you didn't?
Well, can I add something here? I personally, and it's funny, I had a friend of mine, actually it was a friend of my dad's years ago, he said, you know what, the agent's commission is the cheapest commission you'll ever pay. And to me, here's the... That's true. Well, here to me, this is the easiest way to figure this out. As a shrewd buyer, the first thing they do when they say, oh, it's a for sale by owner, well, you're not paying a commission, so they
Yep.
automatically
We're gonna
lower the price by
Right,
the
that's
commission
right.
anyway.
That's
Absolutely
privilege.
right.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, they're gonna do that every time.
We don't see as many for sale by owners in Marin as you see in some other parts of the country, and I don't know what causes that, but I do know that that's a fact. And the ones that I've seen, their result is like you say, they're gonna get a lower price.
Yeah.
They're also exposing themselves in a way that probably is not too
Sure.
intelligent.
Well, this
so how-
market isn't flooded with buyers right now, so the last thing you
Exactly,
want to do
yeah.
is put yourself at a disadvantage at a time when the market itself is disadvantaged.
And I'll give you another reason why it's a disadvantage, because realtors like to show, I mean, you sell your home because a realtor brings somebody to see it, generally speaking. 70% of the homes are
Right.
sold that way. So if I'm an agent, and I look, this is for sale by owner, what does that say to me as a buyer's agent? I'm
Yeah.
gonna do twice as much work.
Yeah,
Well, you have to do
absolutely.
like a pocket listing or, you know, make some special deal with the seller on that. But before we forget, because I don't want people to not know your website or how people get a hold of you, besides going on Myriam's personal Facebook page.
Well, you're gonna go to our website. First of all, I don't think we mentioned that we work for a Lon Pinnell
Yep.
real estate company, and it's a great company here in Marin. So you can go to apr.com to check out their website, but our personal website is realmaringal.com. And you
All
can
right,
also,
who came up with that? Which
Yeah,
one came up with
that's
You
that?
can also
pretty
Google Cathy and Myriam, and you'll find us that way. Cathy
Yeah.
and Myriam with a Y as well.
that's right.
Yeah, it doesn't change when you go
It
on the
never
other one.
changes.
Okay.
You need to reserve domain names spelled both ways, that way you don't have to worry about it.
That's what we did.
True. That's true. Yeah, but like the best of investing and just best of investing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Any
So aside from staging, what are, I mean, we're in a tough market right now. I mean, I don't have to tell you guys that sales this fourth quarter have been really disappointing, particularly the retail side of it, not so much maybe the fix and flip on distressed property
Right,
for
right.
investors, but
Right.
aside from staging, is there any other things that you guys are, little tricks that you're doing to help the?
I'll tell you, I've
help your
always
clients?
believed, and I've shared with Miriam, I believe you put every line in the water at the same time, especially in a tough market like this. But how a home is appearing, not just in staging, but online. Online is such a huge resource right now. So what does your website for that property look like? Are you an agent that's just gonna take a listing and put it on MLS with no pictures at all? I've seen that. That's like malpractice.
ridiculous.
That's
I see that all
malpractice.
the time.
Yeah.
And even pictures itself, hiring a professional photographer and having good angles on the property, not just the camera
yeah.
itself, but there's angles and there's photoshopping with the light, and the first few pictures on a website or on the MLS or Trulia or Zillow makes a big difference.
But-
Pricing, obviously, but a low price doesn't guarantee the sale of their house all the time.
No, of course not. But let me ask Cathy one quick question about the person who did the for sale by owner, and he failed 3 times, and then you had it sold in a month. What period did he waste? How much time did he waste, basically?
It was about 2 years of his life.
2 years.
Wow.
See, and you look
Was
at
that
time
in a
value of money.
declining market?
Yeah.
It
Oh,
was
that
act-
also. Yeah.
It was actually in a fairly good market.
Oh, okay.
You know, and it was a difficult house to sell. And he all these things we're talking about that makes it easier to sell a home, like how you present it, what it looks like online, talking to the community that's most likely to sell other agents. that wasn't happening.
Yeah, well, here's the other thing is, if I remember correctly, 95% of all sales are by the brokers listing on generally the Thursdays, rather than for, looking in the Sunday paper at the open houses. Is that still the case?
Well, and the reason why, I don't know if that statistic's exactly right, but it's pretty close because.
Never argue with the host,
I'm
but
trying.
that's okay.
Well, the bottom line is there's a lot. Most of them probably are coming from brokers. So the brokers tour in the middle of the week, that's when somebody's gonna see it and think about their client and bring them in and show it to them.
Well, Cathy and Myriam, thank you for being our guests in the studio today.
Thank you very much.
We are going to cut to the second commercial break, and here is the other famous Mark question. Mark's got a big smile on his face.
He thinks it's going to be
You
him
think
this
it's gonna
I'm
be
loving
him,
this, yeah.
No, I'm sorry. Okay, what famous Mark is, this is an easy one, what famous Mark is most associated with Cleopatra? The first three callers with the correct answer went free. Look at the ladies are shaking their
Myriam
heads.
knows it, that's why.
Wait a minute, you didn't know Mark, you didn't know this Mark too, did you? I'm just giving away the answer.
No,
Okay.
no, but I do watch Rome.
Yeah, ooh, can't give that away. Okay. The first three callers with the correct answer win a free 3-day, 2-night stay at the Lighthouse Resort. Their website is lighthouse4fun.com. Call 888-912-1190. That's 888-912-1190 to answer this question. What famous Mark is most associated with Cleopatra? 888-912-1190. Make sure to include your name, address, email address. Make sure you spell that out too. And speak slowly, please. And phone number, and we will be right back.